Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today so that we can discuss Balloon Boy. This is an episode of Trainwreck. I watched it on Netflix. This story was really huge at the time. There was a wacky inventor dad who came up with this like helium-powered UFO, and they had always been doing all these different like little science projects and stuff with his family. And this was supposed to be them like building the kind of like their masterpiece, this big UFO that could actually fly. So they got the camera out for the test run, and they had it supposedly like, anchored down. When they let it go, everything went right, and then it started tearing the anchoring up, and it just floated off. That's enough of a problem. The dad starts like having a meltdown over that. But then one of the brothers is like, hey, the Falcon is in there, the littlest brother. And that began like a media firestorm of Balloon Boy. That there was this 6-year-old kid up in this helium UFO just flying around. And, Balloon Boy tells the story of that incident. So this was a really oversaturated story at the time. So I wasn't really sure how much of this would be like, new information or all that interesting because it was covered so heavily. Like even the video of the release and their home movie stuff was released by the family in an effort to kind of clear their name on the way that things turned out. But honestly, this was a great documentary. It ran under an hour. It hit every point you could want from this story. It had all the it had like all the home movies, the behind the scenes stuff. You heard from pretty much all of the relevant people, every member of the you heard from pretty much every member of the family, I think, except for maybe one brother. I remember at the time it was a big deal because the kids cursed a lot. They definitely still curse a lot. The dad, absolute goon. Whether they did it on purpose or not, I mean, who's to say? There's enough to make you think maybe either way. But this documentary does a good job of just presenting the information and letting you draw your conclusions, letting you hear from people on both sides of the issue, including law enforcement. They do spend a pretty good amount of time looking at how the case was approached from a police perspective. But I just thought this was a really interesting, really nostalgic look at a story that kind of captivated America and the world for like a really brief window of time back in the day. But so if you're interested in kind of, nostalgic news stories or interesting like viral moments out in the real world, like Balloon Boy was definitely one of them. And I think Trainwreck did a good job with this episode, and I definitely give it like a high recommendation. Under an hour, in and out, super breezy, tons of information, easy to watch, entertaining, informative. I don't know what else you could want. But that's my review for Trainwreck episode Balloon Boy. If you want to check out more reviews, I got a full playlist here on YouTube. But, drop a sub, check out one of my lives maybe sometime. But thank you so much for watching this video. I do greatly appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you soon.